For those of you who've been following my channel for a while, there's something I should tell you. I'm not married to a person or to a company. Now with that said, today we are going to be looking at the MH-25 V2 by Nitecore. Now this is a pretty compact light. It's 1300 lumens, yet it throws 475 meters. Now this being an MH series means it's their multitask hybrid series. So it fulfills a variety of roles and uses. Now this light is USB-C charging capable. It's got an impact rating of 2 meters, and it's also submersible for up to 2 meters. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open her up. Okay, so we got the light itself up here. It also comes with a holster. Set that down here. The manual, lanyard and clip, and a charging cable. Now this thing also comes with a battery carrier, because the interesting thing about this light is that it not only takes 21700 batteries, but it can also take 18650s as well as CR123s. So since CR123s and 18650s are smaller than 21700s, they give you this little battery magazine to use with the smaller batteries so that they don't rattle around and they maintain a constant connection. Now looking at the light itself, it has a pretty big reflector and a pretty big head. It's got these cooling fins here to help with heat dissipation. It's got two switches. It's got the main tail cap switch as well as a side switch that is used to switch between modes. Now this light has 4 brightness levels as well as 3 special modes, with special modes being the SOS, strobe, and beacon. Now one thing you'll notice is that by the tail cap switch, you'll notice that there's these 2 fins up here. Now, since they do have a loop through them, you can use this as an attachment point for your lanyard, but it also serves as a way to prevent accidental activation of the light. And what's also cool is that since both these fins extend out further than the switch, you can actually use it to tail stand on a flat surface. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the protective film that comes with it. Pull out this little tab. I'm going to go ahead and screw this. Actually, I'll show you the inside, and you can see it's got good spring action. Go ahead and put this tail cap back on. It's got very nice lubrication on the threads. Now for the interface of this light, the side switch isn't used to turn on or off the light. That's what the main tail cap switch is used for. So to turn it on, you just do a single click, and that turns the light on. Now what you use the side switch for is to toggle the brightness levels. So this is actually 1 lumen. At this level, it'll last for 1500 hours. Now to toggle the brightness level, you're just going to tap the side switch here. So this is going to be your level 2 or your low mode, which is 50 lumens. It'll last for 50 hours. Tap it once more. This is going to be 300 lumens. It'll last for 8.5 hours. And another time, and this is going to be your full 1300 lumens. It's going to last you about 3 hours. Now, from this particular mode, this is what's known as the daily mode. Now to get to the special modes, such as strobe, SOS, and beacon, you're going to hold down the side switch once the light is already on. So if I just hold this down, I'll get the strobe. If I hold it down again, it'll go back to its regular mode. So if I want to get to one of the other modes, I have to hold it down and then release it once it reaches that mode. So this is strobe, this is beacon, and this is SOS. Strobe, beacon, SOS. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is the MH-25, which stands for multi-hybrid use. So, in addition to the daily mode, it also has a tactical mode. And to get to the tactical mode, you're going to hold down the side switch and then click the tail cap once and keep the side switch held, and then it'll go into tactical mode once it flashes twice. Now in tactical mode, there's no memory on what brightness setting you last use. So let's say, whenever you turn it on, it's always going to be at the brightness at the max brightness, and then let's say you turn it down to like the lowest brightness, and let's say you turn it off. If you turn it on again, it'll be in the max brightness again. So there's no memory. It's going to be the max brightness no matter what. Now, to get to the strobe, while this light is on, you're going to hold down the side switch, and then you'll get your strobe. Now in tactical mode, there's no SOS or beacon. There's just this constant on as well as the strobe. Now what's cool about this mode is that if you activate the strobe mode while in tactical and you turn the light off, every time you turn the light back on, it'll go into strobe, which is kind of cool. So you can do momentary or constant. And of course, to flip back to the daily use mode, you're going to hold down the side switch again and then click the tail cap when the light is off. And then it'll be back into the daily mode with the memory. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and throw this on the charger and take it outside and show you what it can do. Alright guys, so I'm out here with the Nitecore MH-25 V2. I'm going to shine this thing around a little bit, but first, just for some context, this tree right here is going to be about 20 yards out. This tree right here is about 50 yards out to the top. And this tree in the center right here is going to be about 130 yards out. Alright, so I'm going to start this thing off. This is going to be on ultra low, which is 1 lumen. So you really, doesn't even make it out to the first 20-yard tree. So this is really for close-ups kind of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and bump this thing up. Now this is the 50 lumen level. At this rate, it can run for approximately 50 hours. You can see a little bit on the 20-yard tree. Can't really see it on the 50-yard tree, and definitely not on the 130-yard tree. I'm going to bump it up to the next level. So this is going to be 300 lumens. At this rate, it'll last for 8.5 hours. So at the 20-yard tree, it's just fine. It makes it out to the 50-yard tree okay. And it's a little tough to make it out to the 130-yard tree. Well, I'm going to go ahead and bump this thing up to high, which is going to be the full 1300 lumens. This is the 20-yard tree. Makes it out there just fine. Makes it out to the 50-yard tree very nicely. I can make out all kinds of detail with my naked eye. And the 130-yard tree, it does make it out there. I can see it a little bit. So I'm just gonna go ahead and shine this thing around a little bit. This is the full 1300 lumens. Okay, yeah, this is the MH-25 V2 by Nitecore. Like this kind of content? Give me a like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you very much, I appreciate it.